Before the pyramids, before the pharaohs, before history was carved into stone, there were stories of beings who came from the sky, not as myths, but as rulers. They didn't grow alongside humanity. They arrived from above, bringing knowledge, power, order, and according to ancient Egyptian legends, they didn't just visit, they changed everything. But here's the question: were they truly gods or something else entirely? When we think of Egypt, we picture pyramids, hieroglyphs, and powerful kings. But Egypt's earliest traditions go much deeper, because when you look closely at the rise of this civilization, something feels unusual. A society appears already advanced. Architecture, astronomy, writing, governance, not primitive beginnings, but sophistication from the start. Historians explain this as rapid development over time. But ancient Egyptian narratives tell a different story. They suggest that knowledge was not slowly discovered, it was given. In ancient Egyptian cosmology, the beginning was not Earth, it was the cosmos. Before creation, there was only a vast, infinite ocean, formless and silent. From this void emerged the first act of creation: order from chaos, light from darkness, and with it, the first divine presence. From this moment, the sky itself became sacred, not empty, but alive, a realm of power, intelligence, and presence. And according to early traditions, this realm did not remain separate from earth. It reached down. The earliest Egyptian deities were not distant, unreachable beings. They were deeply connected to both sky and earth. Ancient depictions and texts describe gods moving between realms, descending from the heavens and interacting directly with humanity. These were not passive observers, they were active forces, figures associated with the skylight, the sun, and celestial movement were often portrayed as bringers of order. They introduced structure into a chaotic world: agriculture, ritual, social order. To ancient Egyptians, these were not human inventions, they were divine teachings. But whether taken literally or symbolically, the message remains the same. Civilization began with guidance from above. One of the greatest mysteries of early Egypt is how quickly it advanced. Writing systems appear, precise mathematics emerges, monuments align with astronomical patterns. This development suggests careful observation and intelligence over time. Yet to those who lived it, this knowledge had a source. Ancient traditions describe the gods as teachers. They showed humanity how to measure time, how to build in alignment with the cosmos, how to transform chaos into order. Egyptian symbolism reflects this connection. Solar discs representing power and life, winged figures symbolizing movement between realms, celestial boats carrying gods across the sky. To modern eyes, these are mythological images, but to ancient Egyptians, they were expressions of truth, a way to describe something beyond ordinary understanding. Symbols are not random. They preserve ideas long after their original meaning fades. Egyptian art is filled with imagery that suggests motion, descent, and connection between worlds. Beings surrounded by radiant light, objects moving through the sky, figures bridging heaven and earth. Some modern interpretations attempt to view these images through a technological lens. Others see them as deeply spiritual metaphors. What matters is this: the ancient Egyptians believed the sky was not empty. It was a domain of influence, a source of knowledge, a place from which order itself emerged. Egyptian king lists describe a time before human rulers, a time when divine beings governed the land. These accounts present a world where gods established systems that humans would later inherit. They created structure, defined leadership, and laid the foundations for what would become one of history's greatest civilizations. Eventually, this era came to an end. Human rulers took their place, but the legacy of divine order remained, embedded in law, ritual, and belief, whether literal or symbolic. This transition marks a powerful idea that civilization itself was shaped by forces greater than humanity alone. Ancient traditions often describe a shift from divine presence to human responsibility. The gods no longer walked among people. Instead, their influence remained through knowledge, symbols, and systems, rather than a disappearance. This can be seen as a transition, a passing of responsibility. Humans were no longer being guided directly. They were expected to continue what had been started, to maintain order, to preserve balance, to carry forward the structure they had inherited. Now, here's the twist. What if these stories were never meant to be taken as literal events or dismissed as simple myths? What if they were something in between, symbolic memories, narratives shaped by human understanding to explain forces beyond comprehension? Because when we look at ancient Egypt, we don't just see mystery, we see meaning. A civilization trying to explain its origins through the language it understood best. So what really happened before the pyramids? Were the sky gods real beings or powerful symbols of knowledge, nature, and the cosmos? The truth may never be fully known, but the stories remain carved into stone, painted on temple walls, preserved across thousands of years, not as answers. And maybe that's the point, because sometimes the mystery is what keeps the story alive. For more deep dives into ancient history, hidden meanings, and untold stories, subscribe to Dark History File, because the past is never as simple as it seems.